Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday, the 20th of September, and if you are after rain, I have got some great news for you today. Let's unpack it all. Let's look in the northwest of the country. Not much happening there yet, but that is going to look very different across the weekend and into early next week. We do have cold front after cold front moving across the southeast. There is a trough here in Queensland that is going to produce some wet weather, particularly into tomorrow, but this here is the main event, the main feature we are looking at. Over the past week, there has been a bit of activity up here in the tropics, so this is our first sign that the season is changing and we're starting to see some activity to our north. That activity to our north can be trickling down into the south to produce some much needed widespread rain, and that's the first sign of that happening. Otherwise, again, just sticking to the coast and the ranges and not moving through the inland as it has been for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and a big pause in the southwest, nothing coming in through there. So that was last week. Let's have a look at where we are now. Here is our current map. High pressure all the way back here, practically off the map. But what that is doing is extending a ridge right up in through here across South Australia, New South Wales, even northern parts of Victoria, meaning that these cold fronts cross Tasmania, they clip southern parts of the mainland here, and they don't extend any further inland. They do go up the coast, but they don't go inland. So that's our current status quo. But this one in through here, very interesting. What this high pressure, you can already see it start to do. A jelly bean shaped high. You may have heard me say that one on the news a couple of times, and I get a little bit excited about it because it means things will then move slowly because they are cradled by that high pressure system. If you can get a low to form in here, which is what we're going to do, have the high pressure, cradle it in through there, then it just very slowly moves it across the country and delivers rain to more people because it moves very slowly. Okay, let's have a look at this map. Get excited. We are almost ready to say yes. We have high confidence in this. I've been very excited about it all week. I was at the Henty Machinery Field Days. I was talking about the rain that was coming next week. Now we have more confidence about it. It begins here in the northwest and it comes right down in through here, and then maybe another wave to follow in behind it. It even goes right up here into southern Queensland. So let's unpack that. Day one, which is Friday, still just the southeast, barely going anywhere inland. We've got this bit of activity here and starting to brew. As we go into Saturday, much more activity through that northwestern quarter. This is exciting. It is starting to get going. Again, in the southeast, nothing inland. Heading into day three, which is Sunday, in the southeast, nothing moving inland. This is still building over the northwest. Heading into day four, it starts to move. That is Monday. That's when it's going to go from cloud, rain, lightning strikes up in that northwestern corner to start pushing out across the east. Okay, so going through central parts as we go here into Monday, and then into Tuesday, heading right down into the southeast there. And will it keep going? Yes, it does, moving all through there as we go to the mid to later part of next week. Let's have a look at that in more detail day by day. So here we are. We have the AI forecast. So this is the Jane's weather. That's the combination of all four global weather models, all combined into one that has hyperlocal, so it's got all of the observations coming into it, has adjusted it for your location. So this as a whole, here we are on Friday. So here's the daily rainfall for Friday. I'm going to move through here. Again, we know it's happening in the southeast. So there's Friday. Here we have Saturday starting to build, Sunday building even further, Monday starting to move in. Let's watch it go into Tuesday. There it is. Wednesday. There it is. Thursday still going, moving further north. Here we have Friday developing again potentially on itself to get another burst of wet weather as it comes in, and another one developing over in the west. Going to head back to Thursday, nothing there. There it is on Friday. Heading into Saturday, starting to move through, still have activity from this one. This is a big, long-lasting, widespread rain event. And then another one potentially coming in behind it. We go right through to Sunday, which is the last day. Still a bit kicking in through here potentially, and this next one brewing. So our fortunes are changing. This is our first big widespread rain event for a very long time, and all of the models have it. They're not all saying exactly the same thing, but a lot of them are saying, so they all have it, which is our great news. That means that we are guaranteed that something is happening. In terms of the path and the timing, that's the differences between the models at the moment. Okay, Let's have a look at what that means on the euro for the week as a whole. So this is whether it is wetter or drier than average. And yes, as you would expect, a lot of the country has those lovely green tones, not making up in through here, not making it into the southwest corner. Okay, so that's the first one that moves through. The second one may have a bigger impact in through there. In terms of temperature for next week, we have a bit of warmth here. That's before it arrives, before this one comes in. It's got some cold air in it, but this indicates widespread soaking rain because we've got the cloud that is going with that, producing those cooler temperatures. Let's go back to week 2. So here we are having a look at the first week of October, and here is the potential for that second system to come through. So starting in the west and moving on in, could make it right the way through to the east as well. So that may be not just one system, one massive, widespread, long-lasting system, but a second one in behind it as well. So that is there. We have week 2. Into week 2 in terms of temperature and warmth in the southeast before that next one arrives. But all of this indicates that there should be a lot of cloud that is over the country. And that hopefully means that while we have that cloud there, we won't have those early heat waves as soon as the wind turns that direction. So it is a westerly if you're in Brisbane area, northwesterly in Sydney, a northwesterly in Melbourne, a northerly in Adelaide, and a northeasterly in Perth. When you get that wind direction and you've got heat over the interior, you know you are going to heat up. This helps tamper that, bring it down, make it not quite as extreme. All right, let's have a look at the MJO. Hello, we're in the green zone. That's what we expect with all of this moisture building over the northwestern part of the country. This checks out. I love it when things are doing what they were first of all, what they were predicted, which was going through here. Did take a bit of a detour before it finally arrived there, but now here we are in that lovely spot. Heading to the sea surface temperature anomaly. So now we look further afield. This one over here in the Indian Ocean has got a bit more blues in it. This one in the Pacific Ocean, that has really jumped up over the past week. So that is now really moving through, removing pretty much all traces of yellow from that box, and now there is heaps more blue in it. We have all of this warmth that is off here, all of the warmth that is off here. So all across the northern part of Australia, we have warmer than average water, and in the boxes we have, particularly in the Pacific, lots of cool water, a great offset there, a great imbalance. That means that the moisture is pushed towards Australia in the months ahead. Over in the Indian Ocean, that influence peters out as we go into the summer months, so there's less of an effect there, but this juicy moisture that we've got off the coast there is a good sign. All right, let's have a look at the Pacific. Into this, we have had some changes from last week. So this model, which is the Australian model, has kicked up just a little bit. It's still definitely on this side. In terms of the 7 models, I've correctly counted them now, 1, 2, 3, very firmly in there. That is La Nina, tick, locked and loaded. We've got one that goes across the threshold here, not deep though. We have another one here, this green line that goes to the threshold and not deep. And we've got this one in through here, which is the Canadian model, and that is just bouncing on there. This is the Australian one, the only outlier, but at least it is this side of the pack. Okay, so that tells us that we are likely to go into La Nina. It may not be very strong, but looking at what's happening here as the overall picture, warm water, cool water, great imbalance, push that moisture towards Australia. All right, let's have a look at the Indian Ocean. So this one, faster drop. Oh, actually, let me head back here. Just look how quickly that has dropped in the past couple of weeks. That blue is expanding. It is on fire, or the opposite of on fire, because it's cool blues. It is rapidly heading in that direction now. So things are moving in the Pacific. This is great news as we go into spring and summer. Over in the Indian Ocean has also been heading back down in through here. When we have the signal up in through here, that encourages high pressure to sit over southeastern Australia. That was part of our problem this year. We had it all through these areas here. We had a little bit of a dip. We got a little bit excited. Then it went back straight back up again. But that encouraged that high pressure to be sitting here and blocking those rain systems. If we can get it to go down through this side, less high pressure, more rain systems. Good news for everyone, pretty much. All right, let's have a look at the outlook. This is from the Weather Bureau, where October to December updated yesterday, so on the 19th. And again, central parts, eastern parts looking good. Less cold fronts coming through into the southeast, which is why we've got the brown tones in western parts of Tasmania. You've had plenty of rain this year. I wouldn't worry about that. But we've also got more of a feed coming in from the northwest. That might be thanks to that lovely juicy moisture that we've got off the coast there. So they are working together to produce wet weather for a larger part of the country. A brown tone in through here, but otherwise very 50-50 over in the western parts of the country. Now, what does this mean? This is, there are higher odds for above average rainfall for all of these parts. Let's unpack that even further. We know in order to make it rain, we have to have two things. We've got to have moisture and we have to have instability, and they have to work together. This part really, it's showing us the moisture part of the equation. It's saying that yes, what we can see here and here, we have got warmth here, we've got warmth here, we've got warmth here, we've got this great imbalance in the Pacific. So that means moisture is actively pushed towards Australia. We have a source of moisture. That's pretty much what this is saying. We've got all the moisture we might want to play with. But the next step is you've got to have that run into low pressure to be able to turn into rain. Doesn't mean that every single part of here is going to get above average rain. It means that the odds for that are higher, because whenever that moisture can interact with that low pressure systems, that is where it will have more juice to be able to bring better rain as it moves through. But you've still got to get those lows come in, and that's what we like over the next week, maybe the week following, that we have those big low pressure systems that are slowly meandering, delivering rain to more widespread parts. That's the Bureau's forecast. Let's look at the Euro forecast. Similar pattern. We've seen this now for a couple of weeks now. This was on the 1st of September. This only updates once a month. So again, we've seen this map. We've been watching for the past couple of weeks. There are greens everywhere. Heading to the Canadians, greens everywhere, even blues everywhere. They are loving it. Lots of moisture available to turn into that precious rain. However, we had our outlier, which was the GFS, which is the American model, so from the USA, and it's still doing it. So here we are, the latest one come in on the 19th, so this is UTC time, the 19th of September, and it still has all of these browns in through here. So the USA model still not sold. This has been showing it for the past couple of weeks. It's had some greens to the south, but it's got this big area of drier than average. It is one that is still sticking to its guns there, and it is something to definitely consider as you're looking at what we're expecting over the months ahead in terms of that moisture part of the equation. I'm not sure why this has not seen lots of moisture. On the surface here, it is looking incredibly good. And if you look at this one here, what color is USA? It's all the way down here. So they are liking La Nina. I'm not quite sure why their forecast is not showing that. But again, as we go into this week, it is still on that drier side, so something to consider. All right, let's whip around the country, starting in Brisbane. So we're just going to go through the capitals. We'll expand that out as we go along. It is warm. There is lots of sunshine here for about 31 today. Tomorrow, that trough coming in, that little bit of a disturbance could produce some thunderstorms as we go through the afternoon hours in through here. Let's unpack that and move into Saturday. So we've got two models that like that activity. The other two have it dry. So hit and miss thunderstorms in the Brisbane area tomorrow afternoon. Then we're back to 27 pretty much each day, so that clears out. I'll just move my head out of the way. Lovely. Here we have 0.7 millimetre on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday, but then it jumps up 8 and 7, so Friday, Saturday. That is the days for having a look at what's happening in southeast Queensland in terms of seeing that nice, big, widespread rain system. Let's move into Sydney. Not a lot going on. High pressure in the area, mid-20s, moving right through here. Cooler. Now we're getting some rainfall coming in starting Wednesday, very light, moving in Thursday and Friday. So that's when it moves through those parts of the country in terms of the east in particular. There is the chance that a low will form off the east as well, which could increase these numbers dramatically if that is the case. So keep that in mind too. Heading into Melbourne. Here we are, up and down as per usual, showers marching through. Let's expand this out. We've got this all into the evening as well. Another little burst as we go into the morning tomorrow, but should be quite dry at the MCG tomorrow afternoon. There is a nice little break in there. Heading into Sunday, not much of that left. Monday, Tuesday, cloud builds. I'm expecting the rain to hit here on Wednesday. Now, the range here is 2 to 25 millimetres. The Canadian model is the one that doesn't love it. The rest of them are definitely on board. Now, it is a widespread rain system. It is coming down from the north You would have heard time and time again me talking about this is coming up from the south. It peters out as it goes across the ranges, and there's not much as it moves into the north, into the inland parts. This is the opposite, or at least the potential for that. This is coming down from the northwest, and so it's got those ranges there. It needs enough oomph to be able to travel across. It could be southern Victoria that misses out on this particular system. Most of the modelling is suggesting that is not the case, that it's got enough to deliver it, but there is always the risk that it won't get across the ranges, and that would mean southern Victoria is on the dry side of those because it's a northern system. This one, we have 3 models that love it, but yes, GEM, which is Canada, doesn't love it just yet, so keep that in mind. Continuing as we're going to Thursday, perhaps only 1 model, which is the Australian model, likes it continuing there. All right, so that's Melbourne, and also just how cold it's going to get once that rain comes in. Here we move into Adelaide, 15, 16. So we've got showers moving through, those cold fronts coming in. We've got the high pressure across the top, but cold front, cold front, cold front. Then we've got rain starting here. It is Tuesday. That's the day for South Australia here when we have that big band moving through. So I'll just pop back here, going into Tuesday. There it is. Why have I moved to there? There we have all of that moving right through. So Tuesday is the day in South Australia. By Wednesday, it's moving out of there, but clearing up around the Adelaide area. Cool. So it is Tuesday that we're expecting for that one. So there's Adelaide. It's got 0 to 15 millimeters. So there is a model that doesn't like it in through there, and that is the USA model. Doesn't like it for there. Moving into Wednesday, and then Thursday, there we go. And over in Perth, what's happening there? We've got a lot of sunshine, not the warmth that we have had because we've got high pressure sitting back to the west. So we're on the cooler side of the high pressure system. It does warm up just a little bit, but nothing extreme. Lots and lots of dry weather continuing because high pressure is likely to stay right there. So missing out on that rain system as it comes through. But next week, Friday, Saturday, that's when that potential second widespread rain system could be coming into the southwest and beginning there. So let's unpack that. As we move to Thursday, here we have Friday and Saturday, but this is a full week away. But that's when we're expecting the next wet weather to come down into those parts there. That's it from me. As always, head to janesweather.com, unpack the situation for your exact spot and see what these rainfall systems are likely to do for you. I'll see you next week. Bye.